Hi, this is Cassandra the card reader, and this is the story of how July became a turning point in my year, and how with shadow work, NLP, and facing my demons, I was able to erase the anxiety that has plagued me since the eclipses in March of this year. You see, I keep a tarot journal. I do the daily draw, drawing 2 cards a day. I've done this for a few years now. July, using numerological calculations, is a 15 month, and 15 is the devil card. Additionally, 1 plus 5 equals 6. And as you will soon see, the lovers came into play as well. On July 12th, I had finally managed to schedule an appointment with Justin the Change Artist. He practices conversational hypnosis and NLP. If you know, you know. Anyway, we kept missing each other because he was having to travel back and forth to New Mexico for family reasons. When we finally met, he had me bring up a moment in my mind's eye, a moment when the dark cloud of anxiety buzzed and hissed like a snake pit. I did. And then he had me dissociate, leave my body and float way, way up into the sky. In this detached state, he had me generate good feelings, happy energy, and load that energy into an arrow and shoot that other version of myself with that arrow. I did so, and the pure positive energy of the arrow pierced my heart, and I could literally feel the warmth move through me. I sat there for a long time in the pure bliss, not realizing that the call had dropped. Since that time, the black cloud of anxiety approaches, but it does not engulf me. I know what to do. The whole scene reminded me of the Cupid on the Lover's card. And soon after that, I became obsessed with the Sacred Heart. I see it everywhere now. The big aha for me was that I had rejected the hard or difficult emotions, and by doing so, I had rejected the good ones too. That's just how it works. On July the 12th, when I met with Justin, this is what I recorded in my tarot journal. The 2 cards I pulled for that day were the King of Cups and the 3 of Wands. The intention with the King of Cups, I wrote, chillax, go with the flow, groove with the emotional calm. For the counter intention, the 3 of Wands, I wrote, get up, get moving, get physically active, act on some ideas. And then I wrote, I don't think these 2 things are so opposed. It would be nice to have a mix of both. Intention. I'm open to what anxiety has to tell or teach me. And then the next day I went back and reflected upon that day, which is what I normally do with my tarot journal. So under reflections, I wrote good day, worked on the unearthing course, and had a good session with Justin, the Hypno NLP guy. My heart feels open. Made a heart candle, the Sacred Heart that I have already mentioned, and I watched a video about passion. Looking at my monthly summary, I can see that the 3 most common major arcana cards that I pulled were the High Priestess, Death, and Judgment. And I pulled 23 major arcana cards in total, that is higher than normal because I track this every month, and so that's higher than normal. That was 42% major arcana cards, which point to a turning point. Yes, they indicate a turning point. The most common minor arcana card was the 4 of Pentacles. And the most common numbers pulled were the 4, the 10, and the page. And the highest number of suit pulls was pentacles. So interestingly, there was a lot of stability in July, even though if you asked me, I wouldn't be like, well, that was a very steady, stable month. It did have a big turning point right toward the middle of the month. And I guess compared to the prior 3 months of intense anxiety and just, yeah, never a dull moment stuff, July was stable in comparison. in comparison. I also find it interesting that the 10 was one of the most common numbers pulled, which points to that release and transformation with death. And as I pointed out, death was one of the most common major arcana cards. I pulled it 3 times. I pulled 4 pages also, and the secondary card of the month for this is the Page of Pentacles, but I won't go into that right now. And the Judgment card, very interesting. Judgment card that is the coming out card. Yes, and so yes, I feel like I did have a coming out of sorts. It was kind of a private coming out, but it was a coming out. And then the High Priestess is just that internal knowing, that interior world, the depths of self. Know thyself. This is the High Priestess. So until next month, hang loose.